So I got a question, brother, about that. Like, the marriage and everything like that. Like, you're like people don't know, like, you're really an entrepreneur for real. 10 toes down into the game, right? And you have a very successful, mashallah, organization right now. So when you're married and you're an entrepreneur and it's early, sometimes there's uncertainty, like with that, right? Mixing all those together becomes an interesting challenge, right? That you can either meet or not meet, right? So, how did this decision impact your journey with entrepreneurship? And how did you learn from these intertwining personal commitments? Like, what did you learn from this type of experience?
So when I got married, you also have to keep in mind that coming from a very conservative family also had its very good, you know, also had its advantages. And what were those advantages? That was that you're now in a very big house where your brothers are there to support you, your sister-in-laws are there to support you, your family is there to support you. So my wife was being taken care of more by my family members than by me. So, when you're in a house alone, when you're in a separate house, you also have to think about your family in that case. But when you're in an um, when you're like in a connected household, that helps. That was one. The second was that it was a very early age and I was still rebellious after marriage. So I still was asking my family, I'm like, no, I still want to study. That is still pending because I got married right after school, high school, and I still wanted to study. So I put it in their mind. I said, this is a red flag. I need to study. I need to study. Did I study? Half and half because I was only partially able to complete it. The responsibilities did not. I'll be very honest. To be honest, my entrepreneurial journey in the beginning was very easy because everybody was very supportive. Why was everybody very supportive? I realized that just a few months ago, um, because think about it this way: when you know something, you're going to support it. It's when you don't know something, you don't get it, then you don't support it. Think about something that's really hard to understand. You just sort of leave it. Okay, this is not my game. So it's always that sort of scenarios. And I realized that very, very recently because now I'm taking bigger steps. Now I'm going through the hard time. Now the hard time is in front of me. And it looks like that this hard time, you just have to make peace with it. There is no make it make yourself stronger so the hard time is less. No, you just have to make peace with it and like, okay, this is the journey I have chosen. You will have it easy more in the beginning than you'll have it in the later. I would like to tell people like don't let anybody fool you. Everybody will be actually supportive when you start something, when you're in the initial stages, they will understand the idea, they will support you. My friends were probably one of I don't know if anybody else has those sort of friends, but nobody opposed, not I can't recall one person that said, it's not a good idea, except my family, of course. My father was an earlier entrepreneur than me, but then the 2006 Doha and the 2006 post Doha is definitely different than 2006 pre Doha. This is a
Mm.
line I always like to put. Before 2006, not so much capitalism, okay, in the country. It was very community based or a society. And then 2006 onwards, the first Asian game took place. Rents of the houses started going high up. You had international businesses coming in. And you can also see that now. I mean, with all these boycotts, the Starbucks and everything, now you see that local business is emerging and the behavior of the consumer is also changing in this case. So, what I wanted to say is that my father was a really good entrepreneur. He was one of the most known person. He is the most known person in the society because I grew up in Doha, but that's not the catch part. We moved to Doha in 1950s, just after the war in Pakistan, So
Wow.
my family is more in Qatar than my relatives are more in Qatar than in even Pakistan. But we are both. We're basically in no man's land right now. We do have Pakistani passport, but we're not accepted there, and we're also not accepted in Qatar. So we're Qataris without passports. That's the best definitions. we can give
then
ourselves.
then basically, bro, you're an expat, bro, man. You're one of us. You know?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're one of us,
You
bro. You're an
see,
expat, bro.
also don't fit there. I also don't fit in Pakistan. I also don't fit in the local society. You see, like I'm basically, you know, watching you guys. I'm the crowd.
You're
I'm
the
the
crowd.
crowd.
But let's take it a step back, bro. Let's take it a step back because obviously I know you're an entrepreneur and you've gone so far on your journey. And one of the biggest things